Now, the question may be asked, what is the significance of the Tallit, either one, in Messianic Judaism? Since obviously the Tallit Gadol and the Tallit Katan were both created after the destruction of the temple, after the death and resurrection of the Messiah. It was non-saved Jewish rabbis who came up with this concept. What does it mean to us? And the answer to that is the mitzvah is to fix tzitzit to the four corners, and by doing that, you're remembering the 613 commandments of the Torah. You're also to be surrounded in the mitzvah. So that's being dressed for battle, armor ready. And you're being covered for battle when you go into prayer. You are to wear this garment and remember the blood that was poured out on the four corners of the altar. To remember the corners of the field that were to be left to the poor. Now if you remember, about doing this is what sent them into exile. And the four corners specify they're important to the Lord. And you're to remember those four corners. You're to remember the four corners of the ark, which the rings were placed, so that the Shekinah could be high and lifted up. These are places where the four corners, the same four corners that are on the Tallit Katan and the Tallit Gadol, these are the same four corners that are also mentioned in the field and on the Mizbeach, the bronze altar, or the Ark of the Covenant. We're to remember these as we're donning our tzitzit, as we're putting on our tzitzit. And also the atara, which most of them have a blessing on them, but the atara is the collar. It's also known as the crown of the Tallit. And it has a purpose. And if you look, some of the Hasidim, the Hasidic rabbis, have a very ornate atara. If you look at an older Tallit, it doesn't have an atara on it. If you look at some of the ones that come from Turkey or come from Babylon, they don't have an atara. But the atara is specific. The atara is to designate top from bottom and front from back. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is by tradition, you are to be wrapped in tzitzit. You're to be wrapped in the tzitzit. So when you put on your Tallit, if you watch some of the Orthodox, when they're at the wall, when they're praying, they have the Tallit pulled up over their shoulders, and they have two tzitzit in the front, and they have two tzitzit in the back. That's the reason for that. Actually, by tradition, to have just a shawl around your neck is not fulfilling the mitzvah. You are to be wrapped in tzitzit. That's to each person's discretion. I mean, that's not me trying to say that this is the proper way to don a Tallit. That's just stating what tradition is.